Hello everyone. So we'll be doing this section of the course on understanding time management because, let's just say I'll assume that most of us have living under the rock without any paid time management. So I'll explain it a bit more. Like I said, I'm assuming coming across it for the first step. So what exactly is time management? It involves effectively organizing and prioritizing tasks to make the most of our time in a sense, as it's prioritizing task, organizing it, making the most in your day, effective and really productive time management. Your work and life is balanced. In terms of activities that these two categories, they're in balance and sync. Not one is being neglected for the other. And then you have enhanced decision making. You have ample time to put things into proper perspective. You're not rushing to the next task, to the next task, to the next task. No. This is very, how do I put it? It enhances, yes, your decision-making in essence in the long run, because you have more time to do better things, and then it, therefore, increases your opportunities for personal growth. You have time to do things you wouldn't have done because you assumed that you didn't have enough time for them. Now you have time for them. So because you're better able to manage your time. And then, of course, better time utilization. Just like I said, we have a better way of managing your time. So what are the common challenges? Obviously, number one is procrastination. To mind when you mention some people, oh, that guy, oh, he procrastinates. I said, really, it's something once you become a procrastination, makes you pile up the job, and at the end of the day, you feel overlooked. Overcommitment sometimes leads to the other things. When you give your, your word, your bond, whatever, into doing a task or into some kind of venture, and at the end of the day, it isn't something you can't do. So sometimes that is a big issue. Do not overcommit yourself. Do things that you know you can't do. And you're supposed to check your schedule, can dissipate it or not before you decide to commit. So the company is an issue. Some people are trying to be, what's it called now? People pleasers. So that has to be something to work on too. And I could prioritization. I find that a whole lot of people do things that are not necessary, and they are not things that improve their personal growth. So they spend hours and hours watching TV. It's not a one-size-fits-all. You'll have people burn a fit from these things. But now when you know you're not actually managing anything from it, put it at the end of your list. If not, cut it out completely. And those ones can in turn become distractions. Yes, you're supposed to do this task. I'll do it later. Fascination. Oh, I'm watching distraction. Focus, 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 and focus. And because you have poor planning, this I've mentioned once. You're supposed to plan your time. You wake up in the morning. I'm supposed to do this in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, because you'll have a poor planning skills. Everything becomes modeled. All right? And then multitasking. A lot of people feel this is a good thing, but when you really look at it, it isn't because you're trying to do too many things at the same time. And so it comes out very poor quality because you can't really put all of your focus at a task at a time. You're dividing your attention, and so it will be a proper venture. The ineffective delegation. I find that out that people struggle with. You don't know how best to delegate. You feel you know everything that should be done, and you don't want to do it, but you want to go for it. You need to go people. You can't do everything. Land, and who brings the overall growth to the company. So you can't do anything alone. Even if you're a stickler too, you need to know delegation. Lack of boundaries, like I mentioned, will be committed. So you need to know to say no. Sometimes that will help reduce stress. Tell them no, I will not be available. And you find that sometimes they even have someone else on the list. If you hadn't said that, you're just going to be stressing yourself some more by doing things that would wear you down your perfections. It is good to know. It doesn't matter to be very detailed. It's good rather too, and it's good enough as to know what you want and how you want it done. But at the end of the day, do not overstretch yourself because you want a perfect outcome. There isn't that much of perfectionism really in essence. You can only just do your best. Make sure it's quality, but do not restrict yourself. Once you get into this threshold, then this is good enough. Let it be. Move on to the next one. All right? The lack of self-discipline. It takes a lot to sit down and decide I am going to plan out my day and not just roll with it. Lack of self-discipline. I need self-discipline to do these things. I decide to do this by 9 a.m. I don't need to do it by 9 a.m. If for some reason I have to shift it, I know I can't shift in more than 15-20 minutes. It takes so difficult to get through to these things, all right? So these are the common challenges people have with time management, and they have to be addressed for you to be a better person. Okay, yeah. So that ends the section. We'll see you in the next course.